electricity. They are working in that area right now, right? So give it some time, it is coming, right? Let me see what else. Let me see. Water to Sandy Bank. Yeah, so water has been a challenge, I know, right? Because the NWC system is not up and running. Sandy Bank had problems before that. We have been trucking water, but so many more areas need water now that never needed before. So we're trying our best. I actually reached out to the Minister of Water to ask if he could assign one of the NWC new trucks to the area so that we could up our consistency, right? So I'll make a note about Sandy Bank, right? And I'll follow up on that. And I'll try to get you some water this week. All right. Yes, who else? Let's see. Any other questions? And I appreciate this. I appreciate this. I appreciate this. Yeah, so remember now, for those of the people who want to ask agriculture, mining, fisheries question, yeah, this is not live for it. I normally do a live around agriculture, fisheries, and mining. I will do one, no problem. So I'll ask the team to coordinate one, and I think soon, because people want to know what's happening and where we are in terms of the recovery. So this live will focusing largely on St. Elizabeth Southwestern and those things, right? Road from Black River to Middle Quarters, yeah, that is on the list of roads that are going to be rehabilitated in terms of a patching program. So you will see that work start over the next 2 weeks. Electricity for Arlington, said it earlier. JPS has identified Arlington as one of those areas that they're doing some redesign around, along with Vineyard. So that is going to that is in progress, right? Those areas, the truth is, they are going to take a little longer. I said it earlier, right? Round Hill Mountainside and Round Hill Pedro, right? So in both of those areas, I know road and water are challenges, right? We work it on the water. Once electricity comes back up in good stead, then we will see some reprieve to the water issues. Road, boy, let me tell you that Round Hill Pedro Road, boy, we've done so much work on that road. And then, we might have to look at whether we want to look at a concrete road in that area, to be honest with you, because the gradient makes it very, 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 very difficult, right? Stonefield Barber Hall, they're working on electricity as we speak, right? So I expect that this week that electricity will be restored. I would have to ask about Burnt Savannah Primary. While it's not in the constituency, a number of people from the constituency go into Burnt Savannah Primary. So I will see what is happening. So let me update about the constituency office. So I'm going to pause the answering the questions just for a little bit, right? Somebody asked why Vineyard took a little longer to get live. Vineyard slide parity. JPS has said they need to do some redesigns in that area, right? But they're working on that now. But let me update about the constituency office. So, as most of you may know, just like the entire town of Black River, our parish capital, our constituency office was completely decimated by Hurricane Melissa. We lost the roof. Everything in there suffered, irretrievable damage, right? So we are looking to establish a new constituency office, right? We have identified area, a spot, right? And we were hoping that that spot also suffered some damage, right? We're definitely not moving the office out of Black River, so we're going to be in Black River, right? So that spot suffered some damage. They had hoped that they would have been finished so that we could have started our constituency office last week, which is the first week in February. But they're not finished yet. I went to look at this space on Friday, and the landlord assured me that by the end of this week, they will be finished. So next week, we should have our constituency office up and running. As soon as that is finished, we will inform you where the office is. This office will have to operate it a little differently, right? It's not as big as the last office, and it's in a zone where, you know, noise and those things have to be moderated, right? So we're going to have some new protocols, but I will start back office days, and I probably will increase the amount of office days I do, definitely in the short term, because we won't be able to facilitate as much people in one office day sitting as we used to. All right. So you can look forward to our new constituency office coming up. You can look forward to that. All right. So we will go back to questions. Oh, well, you know, when Joshua, as you say, explained smart city, but a lot of the conversation about smart city has been just ridiculous, quite frankly, how people have tried to bring that into the conversation, right? So I just prefer to keep it at a couple of things. We will be rebuilding Black River. We will be working on how we rebuild Black River, where we put the government services to ensure that they don't go through what they have gone through. We do believe that's an opportunity now for us to showcase the ecological diversity of Black River, the heritage, the tourism product. We believe that we can play up those things while finding an area to put up the courthouse, to put up the tax office. We're not going to do it in a haphazard fashion, right? We are going to do it in a structured way. We're going to be engaging the residents and the business community throughout Black River around it once the National Reconstruction Authority is up and running, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, nobody wanted Hurricane Melissa, and we all would have preferred if there was not a Hurricane Melissa. But now that we have that reality, the truth is what we're going to do is move quickly to reestablish in a better way what is there, right? So we know that some of the entities that were on the coastline, we can't keep it there, right? That don't make sense, right? So we have to put it in a space that is more secure, right? And to ensure that it will serve the residents. All right. When is it going to start? Good question. So the Prime Minister is trying to get the National Reconstruction Authority up and running in another couple of months. One of the big things that they will focus on is Black River, right? And I'll leave him to outline some of those timelines. Yes, we are sending trucks into communities. I see somebody asking about trucks coming into communities to clean up debris. That is happening now, right? So they would have spent a lot of time in Newtown. I know they're going in Xena Way, and I know they'll be focusing on that Newtown Logwood Jungle area to try and get out as much debris as possible, and then moving into other communities in parts of Brampton, especially the ones that are most destroyed. Rooftops, yes. See, somebody asked about roofs and rooftop, and if your roof has been destroyed, what happens? So hopefully by now you would have been assessed. If you have not been visited by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, please, they have a website, they have a self-reporting mechanism that you can go on it and you can say, I live in Whitehall, I have not been visited, give them some directions, and they will come, right? Now, in order for you to benefit from the programs that the government has launched, like the roofs program, which will provide cash grants depending on the severity of your damage, you have to be assessed. The Ministry of Labor has started the process of the roof program. In other words, they have started to hand out some grants. So once you've been assessed, you can look out for a call or a text message from the Ministry of Labor, depending on whether you are severely damaged, moderately damaged, minor damage, and you will get some support. If you have any questions, you can touch base with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, the office, or on their social media platform. What else? I said somebody, there was just a pin question. Like, God, sorry about that. Let's see what other questions are there. What about business people? Yeah, so the Ministry of Industry and Commerce is working out some programs around business and to see how they can help business. As you can see, they did a very good job at border, right? Trying to get border back up and running. And I want to commend the Ministry of Industry on that. It's looking good. If you haven't been down there, please go down there and support border, right? And they also did a job of trying to provide some businesses with generators. So reach out to the Ministry of Industry. You can reach out to the Jamaica Business Development Corporation. They will try to help as much as possible. Let's see, which other question? Elderly people who don't know how to use the internet. Yeah, so those people can go to the office at Santa Cruz, Ministry of Labor, or what I would also suggest for those of you who have the information, we have to help each other, right? We have to help each other because it makes sense if you have an elderly person in your community, right, that have not been visited by the Ministry of Labor assessors, the NIS assessors. See if you can help them by going online and inputting their information, right? Very, very important, right? Because at the end of the day, that helps. But if not, if they can make it to the Ministry of Labor in Santa Cruz, then that helps. Somebody asked, what if your roof has been put back on? Will you still get help? Once you have been assessed, hold on. Once you have been assessed and you would have suffered moderate or major damage, even if you have taken steps to put back on your roof, that won't stop your help from coming. All right? So you don't have to worry about that because at the end of the day, we understand that people, if you can tap back up some of the zinc so that you at least have somewhere to go, yeah, no problem. So that won't stop you. All right? How about doing it before assessment? If you did it before assessment, but you have pictures of the damage, again, if you can use the internet, you can do the self-reporting, or you can speak to the people at the ministry. No. Hope all of the yeah, the focus now. I've said to a lot of people, the focus now can't be on politics. The focus now has to be on service. Yeah, retrieve. Yeah, so I've had a number of interventions into retrieve. In fact, a number of groups who have reached out to me, I've said to them, focus on retrieve. I want to thank Stephen. Stephen has really helped me in a big way. This is Stephen Reynolds in terms of marshalling some support in the retrieve area. I know that the Ministry of Labor team have been up to retrieve. So, no community will be left out. We'll try to help as much people as possible. Let's see any other questions. How is farming in the communities coming along? To be honest, the farmers are doing extremely well. It hasn't been easy, and I've said to the farmers, and we're farmers in our fishing constituency. Our farmers have responded significantly well, and I really want to commend them. I want to thank them. The crops have been looking exceptional. The lettuce, the sweet corn. People have really gone out and have planted in droves, melon. We've seen that come back. I know what has been happening is that we have moved from shortage in some of these crop lines to glut. Contact your RADA marketing officer if you do have excess agricultural produce. I shared a video to WhatsApp. I shared it on Twitter as well, on X, right? I'll look for the number. Let me look for the number now, because I know that there are some people in the constituency and they have excess produce, like tomato, a lot of tomato coming in now, and as such, they want to know what to do because they can't find any market. Well, contact your RADA marketing officer. And I'm going to give you a contact for that person who is in charge. His name is Mr. Dwight Forrester, and you can get him at 876-551-6598. So this is for people who have excess agricultural produce. And if you're not registered with RADA, please register with RADA, right? Barbary Hall. I was in Barbary Hall about a week and a half ago, right? But I'll come check on this week, right? Remember, this is not about, I don't want to be smart about it and try and because I have so much farmers and fishers in my constituency, you try to get, this is not an agricultural TikTok. This is not an agricultural live. This one is for Southwest St. Elizabeth. All right. Round Hill, I'll definitely visit Round Hill. So let's see. Is things back up and running in Cataboas yet? Not yet, but the road going in there is getting much, much better. So for those of you who are abroad, yeah, big up the Bacon family. Yeah, we just did a nice farm road in Bacon. Very, very important. Yeah, surprised that we don't have chronic shortages. Well, the Ministry of Agriculture, rather, and our farmers have been doing very, very well. Fort Charles, I know the water from the Hope Well is a problem and there's no electricity. They are working on electricity. One of the areas that have been flagged, the water, we have to restore electricity to that Hope Well system. You know, even before this, the Hope Well system is giving us a lot of challenges. So I've asked the NWC to tell me a solution. We will treat with that, right? Be up my Barbary Hall, Trustbox, Stonefield people. I see you on the live. Fret not, I'll pass through this week, right? All right, so I think we've done good, and we've done good for time, right? Yes. So Susan, I do separate lives. This is a constituency live. I will do a live around agriculture, fisheries, and mining, but I do find it doesn't make sense to mix them because then it's very hard, right? So I do a constituency live so people can ask about constituency things, and then I do a minister live so people can ask about minister things, right? So for those of you who are on the live and you want to talk a little bit more about agriculture, fisheries, and mining, then we'll have a live for that very, very soon, right? And again, I always say about agriculture, you don't have to, you can see what is happening, right? You can see what is happening, right? Fix the roads in Arlington. Yeah, man, I know. Arlington roads need fix as well as Vineyard. Vineyard roads need some work. A lot of communities still have roads that need work, right? But at the end of the day, you are seeing. Joshua, timetable for the lives. Yeah, so, you know, my constituency live, I don't schedule it. I normally just, you know, come on. I probably signal in the week that I'm going to do something. But for the ministry live, I will put it out prior to so that you can see and you can join in. So I will have the team plan a ministry live and we'll put that out. All right. Prospect electricity. My Prospect family, you know, it's going to take a little while. Prospect was completely wiped out. So, you know, they're working on the post up there. Janice, Newtown. Yeah, one of the challenges in Newtown, as you can imagine, is because there was so much damage to the homes in Newtown. A lot of the homes are not yet in a position to get back electricity. You know, the government does have a program where we're trying to help people to get back their homes, to wire their homes. That is being run through JSIF. So, you know, the NWC is, the JPS is working to try and ensure that when it brings the electricity into the area, then people will be in a position to get the electricity. So I understand the frustration, especially in areas like Newtown, but little by little. So I just got an update in relation to Hounslow, and I want to thank the NWC team. All right, so Hounslow water, NWC, Hounslow has been cleaned, so now it is just for the JPS to get electricity to the Hounslow pumping station. So I'm going to flag this to the president of JPS as soon as I finish this live, that we really need to get the Hounslow station up and running. We had identified it when I met with them 3 weeks ago, but it hasn't happened yet. So other updates, Dalintoba is still being operated by generator, right? So that is one of the issues in the Dalintoba area, while it is operational, it's still not as consistent. That is the same for the 5-spend booster station. Let me see if I can get some update on Hopewell, since my regional manager for NWC is providing me. And let me thank him. I want to thank Mr. Jackson from the NWC. Works very, very hard, and I appreciate that he has reached out, having heard some of the questions on the live in relation to the NWC system. Let me see who else, if I have any other updates on my system. Simone. All right. All right, let me see. Any more questions before we start winding down this live? It has been amazing. People have really, really come out. How long before party get light and water? I said it earlier, we can't give a time in relation to that. Miss Cheeks light was restored for most of Barbary Hall. It's just Trustburg, Stonefield, and some of those areas of the main now left, and they're working on that as we speak. So I do expect that by the end of this week, basically all of Barbary Hall will have light. Will the seas near the town need to be relocated? That's a tough question. That's a tough question, right? That's a tough question. Clearly, one of the things that is important, right, is that we are not building government buildings in areas where they are exposed to significant threat. So we have to look back at that, right? Some of these areas that we've seen tremendous damage from Hurricane Melissa, people will have to look as to whether they will rebuild. And the government will have to look at whether we can provide other areas for people, if they don't want to rebuild, to be able to rebuild, right? So that one, we're working it through. We're getting the experts to look. We're bringing in NEPA. We're bringing in all of the experts to look at it and to see, right? So little by little. Big up Fabian. Yeah, we're in Flat Rocks. The JPS team is in Flat Rocks working. You know, when you look at just how much area there is to cover, I understand the frustration, because I'm still not able to go back into my place on Crane Road, right? But it's really going to take some time. It's really going to take some time, right? It's really going to take some time. All right, what else? Oh, a lot of people asking about farm work card in relation to the constituency. Minister of Agriculture is not in charge of farm work cards, but in relation to the constituency, we haven't had any farm work cards since the start of the year, right? When our office is back up and running, then people know the process. You can go to the office and leave the information, right? But that hasn't come as yet. So when the office is back up and running, you know, and we're trying to get the office back up and running by the end of this week, right? By the end of this week. Yes, we're going to do the agriculture live. I see a lot of people asking. I know Miss Cheeks in the dark. I know it's frustrating. I understand. But I know you've seen the work. And the truth is just the extent of it. It's just the extent of it. But trust me, I understand the frustration. It's just the extent of it. JPS has said that by the end of February, the majority of Southwest should have backlight, but we'll have to wait and see. What I am sure of is that had we not provided additional support, boy, this would have taken forever. So I really want to commend the government for intervening, right? I really want to commend the government for intervening. I think all of us who live in this space can say we saw the difference, right? We saw. Greg, Big Goods Pumping Station, we just spoke about that. We're going to try and see if JPS can reconnect that this week, right? So I'm going to speak to them. We have North Carolina. Thanks. I don't get a chance to respond to the words of encouragement and all the kind of words that people have to say sometimes, but I want you to know I appreciate it, right? I know sometimes people come on the live also to give mischief and to, you know, speak falsehoods, but, you know, some of them just don't have anything better to do, right? So we just have to keep focus, right? We just have to keep focus, right? We just have to keep focus. H2B program, haven't got any information around that. Bruce Field, yeah, man, I know Bruce Field. They're trying to get to Bruce Field by the end of this week and next week, right? I understand that, right? Crawford, the work is happening. I was there Friday, and see them doing some work in the Crawford area. I went down to Galleon. We just did a new cold storage in, well, first it's happening, a renewable energy powered cold storage for fisher folks in Galleon. Hold on, now I get dark. All right, so I think we're coming to the end of the live in a little bit. I said we're going to do an hour, so we have about 8 minutes left thereabout on the live, and it's getting a little dark. I'm gonna try to see if we can get some light in this place. Right here, so big up yourself. Appreciate you. Big up yourself, Marky. Happy you could join. Yeah, man. Good night, good price. When I do my agriculture line, let's talk about that. Del, thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's been, let me tell you, the last 3 months have been very, very challenging in terms of the amount of work we've had to do. But, you know, I've always felt just focus. Let's focus and get it done, because a lot of people are depending on us to get the work done, right? So that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Right, that's just how it is. All right. All right. So I want to thank everybody. I think this has been really good. I'm happy I've been able to answer a number of your questions. I know Round Hill Road needs to be fixed. We're working on that, right? I think we appreciate that. I will do everything in my power to build back our communities, to build back Southwest St. Elizabeth. We will emerge better and stronger. It's going to take some time, but we are pushing and we will get it done. And because, you know, genuinely, I do this out of a passion to see the betterment of our communities and the betterment of our constituency and our country. So we always have to work at it. I mean, we've had it tough with Beryl and now Hurricane Melissa, but at the end of the day, we are resilient people and we will get it done. I will let you know when we're going to do our agriculture live. I will promote it so that you can join and can come with all of your questions. I thank you all for the support. And a number of you have reached out. I know a number of you have had me in your prayers. A number of you have been telling me to, you know, get some rest, take it easy. I appreciate it, right? I appreciate it. So thank you, everybody. Look forward to the next constituency live. Look forward to your constituency, your continued support in Southwest St. Elizabeth. Reach out and I will see how I can help. All right. God bless you.